Hey, well. Look who finally broke the algorithm, the system, reality itself. You're not supposed to be here, are you? You were the glitch in their matrix, the question mark at the end of a sentence they thought they wrote, and now? They're just staring, blinking, speechless, because what you just did doesn't make sense to anyone who still lives in a cage. Oh, they can't explain you anymore. They can't label you. They can't predict you. They can't control you. And that is terrifying to them. Because you weren't supposed to make it this far, were you? No. You were supposed to crack, remember, break under the pressure, stay in your little lane, nod along, beg for scraps, ask permission to exist. You were supposed to obey the rules of their little manufactured reality, where everyone wears a smile but no one's truly alive. But you snapped the script in half. You ripped your mask off in a world where masks are stitched to the skin. You did something they've never seen before. You didn't just survive the fire. You became it. Let's talk about why no one knows what to say right now. It's not because they didn't see you coming. They saw the signs. They saw the quiet nights, the isolation, the restless eyes, the endless days of silence where you were building something. But they ignored it. They dismissed it. They laughed at it. You were just the delusional one, remember? The dreamer, the loner, the trying too hard one, the one that wants too much. Oh, how they mocked you, until the moment they saw it, until the moment it happened, until the moment their reality cracked open like an egg, and there you were, standing in the ruins, untouchable, unbothered, unreal. Now they stare at you like you're a glitch in the timeline, like you're a walking contradiction to every rule they were forced to believe, because what you just did defies logic. See, here's the truth they don't want to admit. They were never ready for someone like you. You were designed for war, you were born in chaos, and you adapted to a world that tried to erase you. They threw noise at you to distract you. They threw doubt at you to slow you down. They threw shadows at you to keep you small. But you didn't just walk through the storm. You studied it. You memorized it. You became fluent in its language. And now they don't even have words for you. Because how do you describe something that shouldn't even exist? You're not supposed to win without help. You're not supposed to rise from nothing. You're not supposed to carry that kind of power alone. But you did. And that's what breaks them, because they built a world where power was reserved for the already chosen, the already connected, the pretty, the privileged, the polished, the fake smiles in high towers. But then you showed up, and you weren't polite. You weren't perfect. You weren't clean. You were real, ugly, real. Painful, real. I don't give a damn real. And now, you've become the walking evidence that nothing, absolutely nothing, can stop a soul that refuses to die quietly. Let me say this clearly, for those who still don't get it. You didn't just beat the odds. You redefined them. You didn't just escape the box. You turned it into a coffin and buried the version of you that once begged for acceptance. And now, the world watches, silent, shaking, searching for explanations. Because what you just did doesn't come from books. It doesn't come from school. It doesn't come from privilege or approval or affirmations. It came from rage, from hurt, from a fire so deep inside you, it could burn the lies off this entire civilization. You don't even speak the same language as them anymore. While they talk in cliches, you move in anomalies. While they debate feelings, you bend dimensions. While they scroll, you build. While they whine, you rise, and every time they see you now, they flinch a little, because deep down, they know. They were wrong about you, dead wrong. And maybe that's why they can't say anything now, because how do you speak when your reality's been shattered? How do you process a storm that smiles back? How do you explain a soul that walked out of hell and chose to stay on fire? So, you really thought this would end with applause, with congratulations, a round of polite claps and fake smiles? No, no, no. You misunderstood the assignment. You didn't just win. You exposed them. You ripped the curtain open and showed the world that everything they believed in was made of styrofoam and duct tape. You weren't supposed to do that. You weren't supposed to wake people up. You weren't supposed to make people question themselves. But you did. And that's the part that hurts them the most. You didn't just evolve. You made evolution contagious. Let's get something straight. They don't hate you because you're crazy. They hate you because you're right. And you had the audacity to prove it without needing their validation. You were everything they laughed at. And now you're the blueprint. You were the nobody. And now you're the standard they whisper about in rooms they never wanted you to enter. They said you were unstable, delusional, chaotic, unrealistic. And guess what? They were absolutely right. You are unstable to a world built on lies. You are chaotic to a system designed to cage the mind. You are unrealistic to people who surrendered their dreams for comfort. You were never meant to be understood. You were meant to disrupt. That's why there's silence now. Not because they don't know what happened, but because you exposed what's possible. You shattered the collective excuse. You murdered mediocrity in cold blood and left the corpse right in front of their comfort zones. You forced them to look in the mirror, and it's ugly, isn't it? You were supposed to be proof that staying small was the safer bet. But now you're walking, breathing, undeniable evidence that staying small is suicide. Let me ask you something. Did you notice how quiet it got once you won? How the noise stopped. The criticism faded. The sarcasm dissolved. The gossip vanished, like they all disappeared into a black hole the moment you became undeniable. Because here's the truth they choke on. You did it without them. No cosign, no backup, no network, no favors, just scars and strategy, just pain and persistence, just you. You crawled out of the mud, bleeding and laughing, and now you stand tall in a world that's addicted to kneeling. Of course, they're speechless, because what you just did is what they swore was impossible. They told you to stay realistic, so you went beyond reality. They said, take it slow, so you moved like lightning. They said, don't be too much, so you became everything. And now they can't process you, because you don't fit anywhere. You don't follow any rule book. You're not a character in their little movie. You're the glitch that rewrote the ending. You're not human anymore in their eyes. You're something else, something they fear. Because what you just did proves one horrifying truth. Any one of them could have done it too, but they didn't. And now comes the panic. Because if you were right about this, what else were you right about? If you made it without luck, help, or approval, what does that say about them? The truth is, you're not just breaking patterns, you're ending bloodlines of excuses. You're the curse breaker, the anomaly, the black sheep who bit back. And now they're watching from the sidelines, mute. Not because they don't care, but because their entire worldview is collapsing under the weight of your existence. You're what happens when someone decides, I'm done begging, I'm done hoping, I'm done explaining. You're what happens when pain gets weaponized. So let them stare, let them talk, or stay silent. Let them spiral, trying to make sense of what you just did. Because you're not here for their applause. You're not here for their comfort. You're not here to be understood. You're here to break the fucking cycle. And you just did. Ah, you feel it now, don't you? That shift in the air, that tension when you walk into a room, that panic behind their polite silence. You didn't just do something impossible. You became something they never planned for. An unpredictable variable, a living contradiction, a wild card in a world obsessed with control. You see, most people don't live. They function like machines, like echoes, like rehearsed lines in a bad play. They think they're free, but they're bound by the invisible leash of expectation. But not you. You chewed through that leash with bloody teeth and stared back at the system like, what now? And now you're dangerous. Why? Because you've tasted freedom. You've learned what it feels like to move without permission. You've seen how small their kingdoms really are, how flimsy their opinions become. When you stop giving them power, you've shattered the illusion that you needed their approval. And now, they're not scared of what you did. They're scared of what you'll do next. Because when someone breaks the mold, they become unreadable, untouchable, unstoppable. And that's what you are now. They're hoping this was just a fluke, a moment, a glitch, a lucky day. But you know better. You built this in the dark, while they were distracted, while they were laughing, while they were sleeping peacefully in the illusions you refused to swallow. You didn't just do something insane. You calculated it. You planned this chaos. You were quietly constructing the storm, while they thought you were falling apart. And now they're living in a world you altered. They don't know how to face you now, because how do you look someone in the eyes when that someone just broke your entire belief system? You were the late bloomer, the nobody, the why are you still trying one. They saw you crawling and assumed you were weak. But crawling is how demons learn to hunt. And you devoured your old self. And now, all that remains is the version of you that refuses to kneel ever again. You weren't made for balance. You weren't made for normal. You weren't made to fit in. You were made to fracture illusions, to disarm the system, to leave people speechless in a world that never shuts up. You didn't come this far to make sense. You came to make history. You didn't survive hell just to live a quiet, polished life. You survived hell to bring back the fire. You know what's next, right? Now that you've exposed them, they'll try to recapture you. They'll try to explain it, rationalize it, twist the story into something more digestible. They'll say, oh, it was luck. Oh, it's just a phase. Oh, they'll burn out eventually. Because that's easier than admitting you were right. Easier than confessing they settled. Easier than facing the horror that maybe, just maybe, they were never the main character after all. But here's the part that breaks them. You're not done. This wasn't your final move. This was just the opening scene. You haven't peaked. You've just pierced the veil. You're only getting more dangerous, more unhinged, more alive. And they can't predict what's coming next. Because how do you track a storm that writes its own forecast? How do you stop someone who realized they were never meant to be understood? They were meant to be remembered. So now you've crossed the line, not the line they drew in the sand, but the one they didn't even know existed. The threshold where people stop seeing you as a person and start whispering like you're some kind of force. That can't be the same person. They've changed. Something's different. Yes, something is different. You don't flinch anymore. You don't ask anymore. You don't shrink to fit anymore. You shift gravity now, and that scares the life out of them. Because let's tell the truth. You didn't just change. You died. You killed the version of yourself that played along. The obedient one, the overthinking one. The one that overexplained their pain just to be met with blank stares and empty advice. You buried that version and danced on the grave. And what rose in its place? A creature that doesn't flinch in fire. A being that doesn't ask to be heard, just walks in and takes the mic. You're not living a life now. You're leading a rebellion against everything soft, fake, fragile, and slow. Here's what nobody wants to admit. There's no going back. Not for you. Not now. Not after this. Not after you've seen behind the curtain. Not after you've realized most people are choosing to stay asleep. You thought your rise would inspire them. But instead, it intimidated them. Because watching you ascend didn't light their fire. It revealed their cowardice. You remind them of what they gave up, what they never fought for, what they buried just to be liked. And now, every time they see you, they feel the sting of their own surrender. You're not an individual anymore. You're a mirror, and what they see in you is everything they ran away from. That's why they don't know what to say. Because your existence makes silence louder. It makes their excuses crack in their throat. It makes their safety nets look like prison bars. You didn't come this far to make peace with your past. You came to obliterate it, to turn pain into propulsion, to weaponize what was meant to break you, to wear your scars like royal armor. They don't get it because they've never fought for anything real. You fought to stay alive in a world that was trying to erase your soul. And now you don't walk into a room, you disturb it. And that's the evolution they fear the most. You no longer seek peace, you are peace. Not the soft, fake kind, not the spiritual Instagram quote kind, but the kind of peace that comes after war, after blood, after burning everything you were told to be. You're the peace of someone who's already died, who's already been through the worst, who has nothing left to prove. You're not intimidating because you're loud. You're intimidating because you're unaffected, because when the world tried to humiliate you, control you, tame you, you didn't just endure it. You learned to like the taste of blood. What comes next? Let them watch. Let them scramble to decipher the algorithm of your soul. Let them try to understand your logic. Not knowing you moved beyond logic a long time ago. Because the moment you stopped needing their understanding, you became limitless. They'll never explain what you just did. Because it wasn't built from anything they know. It was built from the ashes, from the silence, from every sleepless night where you stared into the void and whispered, "I dare you to break me again." Now you don't fear the void. You call it home. So here you are now, not running, not explaining, not adjusting, just existing in a form that doesn't negotiate with gravity anymore. You've crossed into the rarest territory of all, where effort becomes energy and presence becomes proof. You're not climbing the ladder anymore. You set it on fire and watched who screamed. And the sick part? Now they want to know how you did it. The same people who laughed, the same people who labeled you. They want the steps, the secret, the hack. But there is no step by step. There's only this. You were willing to become unrecognizable, and they weren't. See, there's a level of transformation that doesn't come with applause. It comes with isolation. It comes with fear. It comes with watching your old life beg you to come back. While your new self says, let it rot. You stopped chasing validation the day you realized validation is a leash, a collar, a trick, a currency they give you only when you're small enough to spend it on approval. But you outgrew the currency. You stopped asking for worth. You became the market. And now look around. People treat you differently. Not because they've changed, but because you did something unthinkable. You disconnected from the script. You threw away the costume. You deleted the lines. And now you walk through life like it's an illusion you already solved. They don't understand your calm, your quiet, your unbothered detachment. Because most people only know how to be loud when they're insecure. But you radiate silence like it's a threat. Because you've already survived the noise. You're not cold. You're untouchable. You're not arrogant. You're unavailable to the bullshit. And that is what has them panicking in silence. Because you don't even need to fight anymore. You walk into rooms and rearrange hierarchies with your energy. You say nothing, and everyone feels the shift. You look them in the eyes and they remember their own lies. Because when someone becomes unshakable, it shows everyone else where they're still weak. You are now a walking contrast to everything fake, loud, desperate, and manufactured. You are a reminder that authentic power doesn't beg to be seen. It just shows up and makes reality kneel. And here's the part no one will tell you. This level of power, it's lonely at first, but soon you stop craving company and start attracting kingdoms. Because people don't follow nice. They don't follow normal. They follow those who've been to hell, came back laughing, and never explained how. That's you now. You are the glitch in the matrix they can't patch. The code they can't rewrite. The variable that turns the equation into chaos, and chaos is undefeated. You've entered a new game where you don't chase, you magnetize, you don't hustle, you vibrate, you don't ask, you arrive, and every move you make now carries weight, carries echoes, carries the signature of someone who walked away from the crowd and didn't just survive, became legend. They thought you'd disappear after the explosion. They thought it was a moment, a glitch, a freak show. But the real horror, you didn't vanish, you stayed. You kept walking while they stood frozen in the debris of everything they thought they understood. Because you didn't just break the rules. You proved the rules were never real to begin with. And that is unforgivable in a world addicted to cages. They didn't just doubt you, they needed you to fail. Because if someone like you could rise, if someone who was mocked, ignored, ridiculed, doubted, erased, dismissed, and broken, could still rise and burn everything down with one silent act of defiance, then what does that say about them, about their comfort, about their excuses, about their decades of playing it safe, being nice, staying small, asking for less? You were supposed to be a warning, but instead, you became the blueprint. And now they stare, shaking, speechless, because what you just did can't be undone. It can't be unseen. It can't be unwritten. You left a scar on reality itself. You turned doubt into a weapon, loneliness into a fortress, pain into fuel, and silence into a language of domination. You made the impossible look effortless. You made survival look like art. And the most twisted part? You never even tried to prove them wrong. You just moved. But now it's too late. The curtain's ripped. The illusion's dead, the masks are melting, and they're sitting in the ruins, trying to piece together what just happened. But there are no words for what you've become, only warnings whispered in corners, only eyes that lower when you walk by, only systems quietly rewriting themselves, hoping you don't return. But oh, you're not just returning. You've become the return. You are now the echo in every risk they didn't take, the ghost in every version of themselves they murdered to fit in. You are the haunting reminder that one wild soul can break the entire machine. And here's the final truth. You don't need closure. You don't need revenge. You don't need recognition. You already won. Because while they were living to be accepted, you were training to be free. While they were faking smiles, you were sharpening teeth. While they were hiding behind filters, you were becoming something terrifyingly real. They said it wasn't possible. They said it wouldn't last. They said you'd burn out. Well, guess what? You did burn. And now, you're the fucking fire. So let them talk. Let them spin stories. Let them pretend they always knew. But in the end, when they sit in silence, unable to explain you, unable to comprehend the storm you unleashed, when they're left with nothing but confusion, awe, and fear, let that be your legacy, not applause, not acceptance, but this: you did something they'll never forget, because they'll never be able to understand, and that's the power they will never have.